after discussing John Locke, let's move on to state of nature. Now, state of nature, in fact, John Locke is a very important thinker who think about what state of nature looks like. But not only John Locke, I think I should introduce you more about state of nature, because first, when we think about state of nature, I would like to recommend you to read Hobbes, Thomas Hobbes. And according to Hobbes, what is the state of nature? According to him, the state of nature is look like, he says, no arts, no letters, no society, and which is worst of all, continual fear and danger of violent death, and like men, solitary, poor, nasty, and short. What do you think? Wow, state of nature is so terrible. Men, the life of man, solitary, poor, brutish, and short. People fight against each other, kill each other. So you cannot imagine you can go through and you can be safe. Even you are strong enough, but you will fall asleep. You see, even you are the strongest man in the world, in this kingdom, but you might be killed in night. So what happened? What can we do? Then people decide enter into the civil society. They ask the sovereignty to help you, the law to protect you, the police, the government, the military to protect you. But what you lose? You lose your freedom. You lose your liberty. You lose your right. Compare the life in the state of nature and compare the life in the civil society. After you calculate, you see, the modern philosophy emphasizes reason as a calculation. You calculate, you find it's worthy. It's worthier. I mean, you live in a state of nature, you might die every day. But live in a civil society, even in a monarchy, even in a tyranny, even ruled by some very bad king, but you can imagine the king cannot kill everyone. No reason. Maybe in for specific people or certain group or certain time, the tyranny might be very dangerous. But according to Hobbes, much better than you might be killed every day. Everyone might be the enemy, right? You might don't believe Hobbes. You don't think people fight against each other. Let me ask you, when you go outside or when you sleep, will you lock your door? Will you? Anyone? I believe most of you or every one of you, you lock your door. Why? What's the reason? Because you are afraid someone might steal something from you, right? Or even someone enter your room, you don't feel secure. That's it. It's a situation look like the state of nature. You are afraid, you want to protect yourself, and we know even only one man among 1,000 people, even they think, alright, we live in a very safe place. No, because even only one thief, only one bad man, then everyone will try to protect themselves, and then they would really like to accept some higher power, authority to protect us, right? So let me remind you, when we talk about civil society, when we talk about state of nature, why? What's the reason? Because we ask, how could a government could be just? A government could be legitimate? Why we need the civil society? Why we need the higher power? Why we need the military? What's the reason? What's its legitimacy? Then we ask, before the civil society, before the government, how's the life of people? And you find, because it works, people live in such terrible situation, then it gives the legitimacy to the government, to the authority, then it's better. It's better life in civil society. And then we say we should obey the law, we should obey the sovereign, we should obey the king or the people. Because better than life in state of nature. That's the idea of Hobbes, Tom Hobbes. But of course, not everyone thinks so. Let me introduce you about John Locke's state of nature. And he said, all mankind being all equal and independent, no one ought to harm another in his life, health, liberty, or possessions. Do you think it's not like Tom Hobbes, the state of nature so terrible, and everyone is equal, and everyone has his own health, liberty, and possessions? Do you still remember how he get his possession? Through his own labor, right? Mixed with labor and have property right. Okay, that's it. Now, but even in the state of nature, according to John Locke, everyone is happy, everyone has equal, and everyone has its own right. Then what's wrong? Why should we enter into the civil society? What's the reason? What's the cause? Then if there's no reason, if everyone lives happily, why should we enter into civil society? So John Locke says, John Locke tells us what? John Locke tells because we have some inconveniences. Alright, let me give you an example. Like this one, I found this one. Mr. A found this one and liked it and worked with it. But then maybe Mr. A put it outside, and then Mr. B found this one, also worked with it to fix it, correct it, revise it. Then Mr. A and Mr. B claim this thing, this box, belongs to them, right? So how can they do? Argue, or sometimes even fight. Who can be the judge? You see, who can be the arbitrator? Who can decide this thing belongs to A or belongs to B? Because in a state of nature, no one has the right to decide who is right, who is wrong. No one. So John Locke thinks in the state of nature, there are indeed, even his state of nature not like Hobbes, so terrible. But indeed, John Locke thinks the state of nature still has some inconveniences. Inconveniences because no arbitrator, no judge to decide, and we cannot cooperate, we cannot solve the conflict. So they need it. They need. So finally, they decide enter into the civil society. So that's John Locke's reason. And finally, I would like to introduce you about many people think he is a French political philosopher, but he is not French. He came from Geneva, Swiss. And he said, what's his name? Jean-Jacques Rousseau. Jean-Jacques Rousseau was born in 1712 and died in 1778. He is a genius. And he wrote some very beautiful article and very moving. Even some people think the French Revolution much influenced by Jean-Jacques Rousseau, right? And he has a very famous term about state of nature. He said, the noble savage. The noble savage. They think in the state of nature, human beings just like the noble savage. They are noble. Even they are barbarian, they are savage, but they are noble. Why? Because he thinks in a civil society, people envy, people not give their true story and it's fraudery and commit some crimes, not like people in the state of nature. People are so nature, and people are so naive, and people are so true color, to show their true color, not so false. So he admired this kind of person, and he think state of nature much better. So why we enter into the civil society, it's not good thing. It's kind of corruption and the influence of civilization. And his idea of civil society. Okay? So his idea of the state of nature. So you think, when we talk about state of nature, I have introduced you about John Locke, Tom Hobbes, Jean-Jacques Rousseau, and I would like to ask you, how do you think? What do you think state of nature? I will give you several questions. I hope you think about it. First, what is state of nature? What is human nature? And how do people interact with each other? And how to make a living in the state of nature? And how to define private property? And why we human beings enter into civil society. Okay? I think it's very important. And for you to think about state of nature. Okay?